Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of this game development diary for Pedro's adventure. Sorry I missed out on a video last week, but I was just tidying things up so that we can get another demo out there. So if you feel like playing the game in its current state, check out the link in the description. It'll take you to this version here, which is a web version of the game, and play it and let me know what you think. First up, you can see the changes now that you can start a new game, or you can actually load in the last game that you played if you played it before, so that you can keep up, gain more experience, get better items and things like that, so you don't have to start a new game over and over again. So we'll just start a new game here and I'll take you through what I've changed. So yeah, the kind of intro of the game's pretty much the same sort of text, and that hasn't changed too much. The first kind of main change you'll see is when we go into the forest for the first time. I got some kind of feedback saying that the kind of just moving around the forest and trying to find the tools, it was a bit difficult because the forest area was quite big, and you weren't always successful in finding the tool that you needed. So what I've done to change that now is that a path is created. Again, it's random each time. The path will look different each time you go into the forest. It's meant to kind of symbolize that you're going to a different part of the forest each time. And so the forest has a path in it now, and the path will lead you to the tool, but someone else gave us some feedback that didn't realize what the counter was for, so I've added in just a wee bit of text saying that can't explore for too long, and the counter at the top left counts down the number of turns you've left before you have to return home. Use your turns wisely. So it's just to give a bit of information to the player to let them know what happens when the counter gets to 0, because that wasn't in the game before. So yeah, you can see the path here, and at the end of one of the paths will be the tool. So hopefully it'll give people a bit more of a kind of like almost like holding your hand a wee bit more, so you don't get lost, and hopefully you don't get frustrated and bored as easily at the start of the game, because that would be kind of bad if you give up within the first couple of minutes. So by having the paths and having the tool at the end of the path, then at least we know that you can find the tool. So you find the tool, return home. So that's kind of sort of the same kind of idea there, is that you kind of learning the basics of the game. You're going to the forest and pick up the tools, so back out again, and then we're looking for the saw, I think, this time, and you can see we're actually started on the right hand side this time of the forest rather than the left hand side. So this gives you an idea. So the algorithm for generating the path wasn't overly complex. I kind of just thought it through my head and was able to code it up pretty much in a night. All it is really, it takes you to the center of the map and then branches out, and then goes up and down a random amount, and then it finds out where the ends of the paths are, and then it'll spawn the tool at the end of one of the paths. So the other thing I suppose I can talk about that is now in the game that wasn't in when I was talking in the last video is experience points and leveling. So see, it used to be experience here, now it's experience required. We need 10 more experience points till we go up a level, and if you note, our health is 30, strength 5, and luck is 3. So if we kill some more enemies then and get that 10 XP points, then we should be able to see what happens when we go up a level. And it's nothing too exciting, but at least that player progression is in the game, and I think it was definitely missing from the last game I was developing. The players stayed the same level throughout. It was just the items that got better, so I'll be good having the player see the progression of gaining levels and becoming stronger. Can't need too much. Oh, experience required 0, so we don't need any more experience, but we haven't gone up a level, so obviously I need to fix that. Kill this and it should go up. Yep, you see level up, and we should see that our max health's gone up, our strength's gone up by 1, and our luck has gone up by 1. So, and also the amount of turns you have in the dungeon will also increase the higher the level you are. So that's kind of cool that that's in the game now. And have to now talk to Steve, who's going to tell you about what's going on a bit more, as your dad's been rather kind of coy and keeping things quiet. We also now have the bow, so when we scrolled through the inventory before, there wouldn't have been the entry for the arrows or the bow, and that is now, so we can now shoot stuff. So we'll have to go back into the forest and find and kill the bear, and once that is done we can move on to the forest. So we're move on to the dungeon. We're already in the forest, so you can see here that the shoot mode kind of indicator comes up when you click Pedro. So we'll do some damage before we go tackle the bear, and it's fight to the death, and collect the bear's blood sample and you return home. So now we go back and talk to Steve, and this is where the demo ended before. So from now on, anything that you see that you can play, but you won't have played before if you played the demo the first time around. So it tells you about the interesting story. I'm not going to. He tells a supposedly interesting story, so I'm not going into too many details to let you read it at your own pace. But he says that if you haven't found the character Haley, you can find her in the lower right hand corner of this homestead. She needs money to get us to the place that we have to go to. So you can go down here, you'll find that all along there's been a character hiding. You can talk to her before. If you manage to explore down here and see her, then you can talk to her before you have to, and she sheds some more light in the situation. But she tells you a bit about the story there, and that you need to collect some gold so that she can bring you to the next kind of area, which is going to be the first master dungeon, and we need to complete the master dungeon. So you get enough gold for her to take you there, and at the minute we have 0 gold. So Steve had said in that bit of spiel is that if you explore the dungeons of Balak, then there should be a lot of treasure, and it should be easy enough to get. So this is the kind of dungeon area that we've seen before, but now it's linked up that there's now different dungeon levels. We have loot that we can get, we can gain experience, and the different dungeon levels have different enemies that get slightly harder as you go deeper, but also your rewards get better. If you do find a treasure chest or an enemy drop, if they drop their bag of loot, then you're more likely to get more gold the deeper you are in the dungeon. But then we do hit a bit harder. So, oh, there's a treasure chest that it's gonna be hard to get because I've only a wee bit of health left. So I'm gonna have to use some tactical thinking here. Try lure them out. It's too close. So I might make it to the treasure chest. this black bat's going to get me, I think. Or I might be able to... See, your bow's not very strong at the minute, so it's going to take a long... I'm trapped now. Oh, killed it at the last hit, so 1 HP, so... Is this little red thing going to get me? Well, he's not in range at the minute, so... Try my best to get this chest. And it's pretty tense because we only got 1 HP, so one wrong move and I'm dead. So you really want to, because your bow's pretty rubbish at the minute, and the arrows and all your armor and stuff, you do kind of die kind of easily. But I find a sheet, new cloak, so we can go into the inventory system and then go to the cloak ones, and we see now that we have a cloak that we didn't have before. It's a cape. It adds 1 armor, so it added that, and now you can see Pedro is wearing a cape. And we get whacked, and we die, and we come back. So we didn't find any gold at that run, but we did find a cape, so we have a bit more armor, so we can hopefully survive a bit longer next time. The idea is just keep going to the Dungeons of Balak while you earn enough gold to then take it to the next master dungeon. So that's where development is at the minute. Haven't actually started to create the first master dungeon, but that's what I will be working on next. Oh, enemy dropped some loot. Found 12 gold, so at least we've started our journey of earning gold. So they'll kind of balance in how the game, how like hard you hit and how hard you get hit and how much experience you get and things like that. That's probably going to change. It's not going to be in the final form that it is not. That the kind of the numbers you see now probably won't be the numbers that are going to be at the end, because I think I need to balance the game a bit more. So yeah, that's what I'll be working on too, is some balancing. If the game's too hard or too easy, then I can change it. But nope, gone up another level, so now 34 health, 7 strength and 5 luck. So yeah, I'll be concentrating on working on the master dungeon, which will have some puzzles and stuff, so it'll not be as straightforward as these ones, where you're just really kind of going to find loot and gold and things like that. So please do try the game. The link will be in the description. Any feedback you can offer will be greatly appreciated. It always helps just to hear other people's viewpoints, and I could change part of the game because I've got some advice off people. So just drop either some comments on this YouTube video or find me on Twitter or on the Facebook. You can send a private message there if you don't want to put it out in public. But yeah, I think the development's coming along rightly. I'd originally planned to release this in October. We were just about to start October, so I don't think that's going to happen. I think now it's probably going to slip into November. So hopefully we're going to release maybe towards the end of November for mobile platforms, and if there's enough interest, then I'll put a standalone version or a web browser version out as well. So thanks for watching. Please do give the game a go and drop any feedback you have in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.